Right then, YouTubes. I'm not sure where I got up to on this job. I know I filmed the spraying of it, and I think that must have been it. I can't remember. It's been about a week or so, and yeah, I've been asleep since then, so I've forgotten. So anyway, it's the Golf GTi that we put the new wing on, painted this side. It's all fitted back together now, and it's had new wheel and tyre, new tyre fitted on a new rim, and been for wheel alignment and all of that. So it's just the polishing and cleaning up left. So I'm not so sure if I showed it in the spraying video, but this door had quite a bit of dirt in this door. Well, it's not too bad, but it's more dirt than I would like in a job. The back door's not too bad, a couple of bits. Always expect something, but yeah, if there's a little cluster of dirt in this, which I wasn't too happy about. And the wing's really clean, so yeah, just one of them things, it happens. So this was done with Mipa CC14. It's been left for, yeah, it's a good week, over a week now. So it's nice and hard. It's had a bake as well. And yeah, nothing's changed. It's had a bit of frost on it, and a bit of dew, and a bit of rain on it, and a bit of dirt, and no loss in gloss levels or anything like that. Even had a bit of bird muck on it, which has marked it slightly, but nothing that won't polish out. So this part of this video, I don't know which part it's going to be, it's going to be a bit of flat and polishing for this contamination in this door, but I'm going to sort of show three different methods. So if we have a look on this door here, if it comes up on the camera, I've got three bits of dirt here, all pretty similar size and shape. So three bits of dirt there, there's a bit there, there's a bit there. These are really sort of hard bits of dirt, so I don't know where it's come from. And then there's a handful of them in the lower part of the door. But what I do on these three bits of dirt at the top there, I'm going to sand these with three different methods. So I'm going to do what I would normally do. I'll sand one bit of dirt. I'd use a tungsten block, take the top off, use a bit of 2000 production paper, and then go over it with 3000 on a little DA sander. That's normally my main procedure, what I do most of the time on denibbing. Then on the second bit of dirt, I'm just going to do a bit of 2000 grit, like on a little block. As you can see, I'm well prepared. So 2000 grit on one of these blocks, and just leave it as 2000 grit. And then the other bit of dirt I'll do with tungsten, sorry, not the tungsten blocks, with the carbon blocks. So if you've seen my video previous with carbon blocks, so I do it with these carbon blocks where I use the 800 grit, 1500 grit, and then 3000 grit carbon block. And we'll just see which way, it's only a bit of messing about really. Where they're all in the same area, then bits of dirt, it'll have the same amount of polishing. And we'll just see what gives the best results, which is quicker, if any of them are. And yeah, just see what it's like. Just trying something as a little test, just to compare three different methods of denibbing really, and polishing. But I probably will stick to what I normally do, which is just a bit of 2000 grit production paper, 3000 grit DA. But anyway, it'd be a good test as well to see what this CC14 polish is like after a week or so. And yeah, we'll see what it polishes up like. So I'll run the polisher down the whole side as well, and yeah, and get the job finished. So yeah, that being said, I'll get the camera set up and we'll get cracking on. Right, so basically we've got three different types there. So we've got standard production paper 2000 grit, and then gone over with a 3000 grit Trizac pad on a small DA. That's just 2000 grit on its own on a little circle block, you know, little round denibbing block on its own, 3M again that is. And then that's the carbon blocks, 800 grit, 1500 grit, and then 3000 grit all on top of each other. So went down the grades with the carbon block. So each bit of dirt's denibbed, and it's probably not going to be a lot in it, and this is probably a useless experiment, but let's give it a go anyway, see which one polishes the best. Whatever polishes the best, I'll do the rest of it like that. So I'm going to use rotary polisher with a Roops rotary polishing head, coarse, and then a heavy cut compound, Kosh Chemi. Right then, YouTubes, before I start polishing, I always prime the pad. So I clean my pads out every time I use them. So I put water on them, spin the mop, and I blow it out with the airline so it gets all the compound out of it. So I smear some polish into the buff head just to prime it up a little bit, and then I put a few dots on. But once you get polish going on a polishing pad, you don't really need to use a lot of compound. You want to let the head do a lot of the cutting. If it gets overloaded, it's just not going to cut like you want it to. So the conclusion to that is none of them are any better or any worse than each other, to be honest with you. Well, looking at that, probably what's another going over. Flatting mark wise, I'd probably say the 2000 grit, which is pretty obvious, still showing a bit more than with the block, and when with the 3000 grit, still see a bit of the nib on that using that little 2000 grit block, and that took longer. There's not a lot in it between that and the block. The only thing with the carbon blocks is they're obviously square and hard, so sometimes you need, you know, they're struggling curves and rounded parts of the panel. But sort of how I would have normally done that is I would use production paper through all of it and blend out my flatting marks, so the transition, obviously you're going to take orange peel out when you're denibbing, and like it shows on this, there's like flat spot, peely spot, flat spot, peely spot. That doesn't look quite right to me, so I try to blend out my flatting marks, so the transition between where you have nibbed it is less subtle. It doesn't show as a big flat round spot or a big flat patch and then orange peel around it. So it's about trying to blend out your flatting marks in a way. So that's why I find if it's a bit chunky, the nibs, if the bits of dirt are a bit chunky, use a tungsten block to shave that off. Then I just use production paper with my fingers, or on the little squidgy blocks that you can get, the little soft blocks. And then with the production paper, I can sort of scuff it around and blend it out a little bit, and then just 3000 grit over the top of that. I find it's probably quicker, probably cheaper than buying the little pads and all that. And it goes a bit further, and yeah, doing it with your hands and your fingers, you can obviously manipulate round shapes. But I find using the tungsten block first helps, because you're not riding over that bit of dirt, then you take the bulk of it off and it nibs a bit easier. So to me, I would just stick to what I normally do. Tungsten block it if it needs it, then nib it by hand or with a soft block with production paper, and then run some 3000 grit over the top of it, and use that 3000 grit to blend out your flatting marks. And I think that's good enough. If you've got just the odd one or two nibs, probably them little blocks are okay, just to do a couple of little nibs and just polish that little area. But I'm going to run the buffer over this whole job, so there's little bits and bobs here and there, and the whole side wants polishing. So it'll have like a two-stage, a refine, you know, a cut in, and then a refine polish as well with the dual action, being black as well. But yeah, that's all I can take away from this really. Is yeah, they all work. but I just find the production paper is just, it's a bit old school, and it works. It doesn't need to be changed, I don't think. But I'll get all these other little nibs done. I'm going to blend out where I've done that anyway, because there is like flat spots in between bits of orange peel. Like I say, trick is to take your eye away from it being a little patch of flat glass. Take your eye away from that to blend into your orange peel. Blend your orange peel out, basically. So yeah, get the rest of it nibbed and get it polished. Oh yeah. It's just on that top of the
Well, in like some instances, you could probably just use the tungsten and polish over it, couldn't you? If it was like just
yeah, you can off. Do. Look, you can nearly get it off.
Yeah, leaves like a little bit.
If you can sort of dig it in a little bit. It's a bit risky.
Yeah.
Can be a bit risky.
I don't know, like on certain things, like say if you had
I think
down low, you could probably just
matching factory orange peel. I don't think you can get much better than that.
No.
It's almost exactly the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even here, look, when you look here, you catch them two panels together, the peel's exactly the same, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, buff up the quarter and that.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. Nothing like matching the factory orange peel, man. It's more satisfying than doing a good job.
What do you mean? What? Getting them
matching it like the rest of the car is.
Mm.
So it don't even look like it's had paint.
No, no.
Then, you know, if I looked at that as an individual bit of paintwork, I'd probably say, oh, that's a bit orange peely.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to go for the best finish ever, I wouldn't necessarily be happy with that finish.
Mm.
But when you look at it and it's matched the panel next to it, almost identical, then that in itself is like satisfying, yeah, because you think, yeah, the finish ain't great, but look, it fucking looks exactly the same as the panel next to it. The robot done that.
Yeah.
Fuck you, robot. Fucking have his job.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want it though.
Yeah, robo guy.
Robo.
We got a production line of robots, like a clag bot, then you can be the jizz bot. And then we have
Jizz? Why would I be jizz? Oh, I'll be the boss bot.
You could be paint bot.
Boss.
And then after you, then it goes to the nib bot.
Who's that, Mo?
Yeah.
I'm nib dog ammo.
She's got experience in it though, mate.
Yeah.
You alright to rub that clag on the back?
Yeah. Well, it's getting the off.
Oh yeah. Probably just swing it on the wood.
Yeah.
Or you might, I don't know. See what it sounds like. You shouldn't have to do 80, not on that.
What did you say?
You shouldn't have to do 80 on it.
80 is a bit much for an ultra, isn't it?
Yeah, can be.
Takes it out too much.
I'm just using the the little DA with little 3000 grit pads on there. They're really good, those little small DAs. I've had that one for years and years. I don't think they've really changed much. Pads last okay, the 3000 grit. I find, again, make sure we clean them out afterwards and they seem to last a bit longer. Otherwise the rub it down water crystallises a little bit and then they just stop cutting. So yeah, I soak them in water, spin them, blow them out like I do the polishing mop. I seem to get a good bit of life out of them. Another little essential thing with using a dual action sander for polishing grit, so you know, like 1000 grit upwards, I'd say, you know, 2000, 3000 grit on a DA, is you just need to make sure that you get a DA that's got the right orbit. So I think that's a 2.5 mil orbit. So you need a low orbit. They're like 2.5, 3 mil orbit on the DA. A normal DA just won't work right with the fine grade. So you know, your normal DA for your normal grits, so they're normally about a 5 or 6 mil orbit, and they just don't work properly with the fine grades. So yeah, it does make a difference, definitely, the way it cuts. Because I find as well, and you'll find that you might go over 2000 grit and then go over it with 3000 grit, but if you don't get those 2000 grit sanding marks right out, it's quite often the flatting marks will reappear. I have had some issues with flatting marks reappearing, and I think it's down to this compound that I'm using. This great compound, the Kosh Chemi stuff, but I think it's more geared up for the detailing world. So since this video is quite old now, I've gone back to the 3M stuff, because the 3M, I've gone to the green top, the 3M Fast Cut Extreme, and then I've got the medium one, the yellow top, and I use the ultra fine, the anti-hologram, because those compounds are just geared up for this environment, for the body shop, fresh paintwork, flat and polished environment. So yeah, I've gone back to them and I'm getting better results. That Kosh Chemi stuff is great. It's so easy to clean up, it doesn't make any mess, but it's got fillers in it, and yeah, I've had quite a few times, just, you know, after it's all cooled down, because you're generating heat when you're polishing, so it sort of softens up the paint again, and it does sort of cure it off a little bit more, because, you know, it's never fully cross-linked until, you know, a good few weeks later. So find you warming up the panel a little bit when you're polishing, there's no polishing marks there, and then yeah, when it all cools and stuff like that, hardens off a little bit more because of the heat that's gone into it, that can cause your flatten marks to reappear. And so yeah, like I say, I'm still using the same heads. I find the Roots polishers, I've got that, and like the Bigfoot dual actions and stuff like that, they struggle with other pads. They only seem to work really well. They're really balanced with their own pads on there. So the pads are good. Their compounds ain't great. So yeah, I use a combination of the Roots pads, the right pads and the right backing plates. You know, I use 3 different sizes on the rotary and 2 different sizes on the dual action. Get the right backing pad for the job, and yeah, they're really stable and pretty smooth. Yeah, like I say, this Kosh Chemi stuff, it does do a job, but I find the 3M one is a lot better. So I am back on that again now. I used to be on it anyway. The only thing with the 3M one, the Fast Cut Extreme, is you can't really one-step it, especially if your paint's a little bit soft. It will haze it, but that's sort of a good sign, because you know it's proper cutting if it hazes it. So I do a rotary with the Fast Cut. I'm quite confident that my flat marks ain't going to come back with that, and then yeah, clean up and do a dual action polish with the Roots Bigfoot dual action polisher, and I use the ultra fine head, and I use the anti-hologram 3M polish. So it's a blue top, I think, blue or purple, blue I think it is. So yeah, use that. It's the ultra fine, so use that. Go from heavy cut to ultra fine. You can go 3-stage heavy cut, the medium, yellow one and then the ultra fine, or you can just do medium and ultra fine. Some jobs when there's only a couple of nibs, I just do the medium cut, make sure it's in 3000 grit, do the medium cut, and then just if I'm just doing a couple of areas and not running the buffer over the whole thing, and then just use my little mini dual action just to take out any holograms. But medium cut, you'll get away with a single stage on a rotary as long as you cross hatch it. You'll minimise some holograms and buffer trails and all that. You'll minimise it. But by the way you use the mop, and it's bright enough without having to do a second stage. Pretty much most jobs, I'll do the nibs and what have you, but I always run the buffer over pretty much everything that I've painted and the adjacent panels. And it's sort of, you're doing two things with that. Your fresh paint, it needs to buff down a little bit, and then the old paint next to it needs to buff up, and it sort of just ties it all in, and makes it look again a little bit less like it's been painted. Unless the rest of the car's completely fucked, then it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. So this stage, this is just the finishing stage, the refining stage, and like I say, I'm on the Kosh Chemi stuff at the time I was doing this job, and that's the micro cut, that one's called, with the ultra fine roots polishing head. The micro cut is fantastic polish, really good. It seems to have less fillers in it than the heavy cut for some reason. I think the heavy cut's got a lot of fillers in it to make it easy to buff off, at the end, to take off, and it leaves a good sheen, the heavy cut, which, I don't know, being a heavy cut, it probably shouldn't leave a good sheen, because you're not seeing exactly how the panel should look, really. Right then, that's the Golf all flat and polished and finished on the polished stage, so I'll give you a quick look. And really happy with the way that CC14 polishes. So wing, I had one little nib on the wing, and rest of that's gum finish. And I think, if you look at the finish from my wing to the orange peel on the bonnet, I don't think you're going to get much closer than that. So it seems really good for that, the CC14, for matching up factory orange peel. Looks identical to me, which that makes me happy. It makes me happy when the finish looks like the car. If it was an individual panel on its own and I painted it, I'd probably say, oh, it's a bit orange peely and could be nicer. But when you do it and it matches a panel from the factory next to it, that's my ultimate goal, really. On production cars, when I'm painting them, that's what I want. I want that to look exactly like the rest of the car, so it doesn't look like it's been painted. So really clean on that wing. Had about 15 nibs on that front door for some reason. A couple of nibs on the back door. But all flatted out. I went over that bit where we done the little test. Just blended that out. And if you can see, obviously it's a bit flatter. The orange peel's gone. But if you can sort of blend out your flatting marks, it's quite subtle. And you don't see it so much. And then a few little nibs here and there on the rest of it. A couple on the back door. And then polish the quarter panel, see if we can catch that. So my gum finish up there, then into the factory orange peel of the quarter panel. Massive shout out to Angel8286. I hope this answers your question, mate. And yeah, I don't think you're gonna replicate it much more than that. So yeah, overall, apart from the bits of dirt in the door, really happy with how this job went on the paint side of things. Yeah, I'm really loving that CC14 now. So yeah, I can't justify using it on every type of job, because it is quite expensive and some jobs don't warrant it. But it's good to have a variety and a variation to suit all budgets anyway. So gonna get this one, fucking piss off. Right. Yeah, just trying to finish it. No, you've come in. Hello YouTubes, just wanted to end this video. Yeah, I didn't get any more footage of that job, so no footage of it outside. But yeah, just wanted to end this video with yeah, to start off with, just to say a massive thanks for everyone's support, everyone watching my videos, and all your comments. I try to answer all your comments, all your questions. It really helps me to keep going with this channel. I am in two minds with it at the moment because it is so time consuming. It's beat all my expectations, to be honest with you. I never expected it to do what it's done. It's been about 18 months we've been going now, and yeah, I'm totally grateful. I really am grateful for everyone subscribing and watching and liking and disliking. Any engagement's good engagement. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for their support, thank everyone for watching. You know, ultimately, you know, I love doing the channel and I love recording and editing, but it takes up all of my spare time, and it is becoming a bit of a burden, which then makes it not as enjoyable. You know, we all got intentions, whoever's doing YouTube channels, you want it to try and create some revenue for you. It's not nice to say that, really, but I you know, if it's going to move forward, I want it to help, because it hinders the business a little bit. Recording, it slows up work, so that costs me money. And I'm making revenue, don't get me wrong, it's great, but what it is, I'm going to address a comment from someone. I think his name's John Allen, and he commented about saying why he can't understand why my channel isn't a lot bigger than what it is, and I don't know why. And he's not the first person to comment this, neither, and it does play on my mind a little bit. You know, it's making, you know, decent amount of views. I'm putting everything into it. It's getting to a point now, to me, whether it's worth it financially, because it does need to help me financially now, with the time and effort and the sacrifice I put into it. Like I say, it slows up work a little bit with recording. So, you know, my channel's not, I'm not, you know, at a place of work somewhere where I haven't got to worry about my wages. I'm being paid, and you know, and I can make content around that. That's a bonus. Mine isn't, you know, having my own business on my own as a one-man band with just me and Reese. It's a constant thing to be thinking about money. I'm not guaranteed a wage. I've got no sick pay. I've got no holiday pay or any of this. I'm not moaning. Please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not moaning. I'm eternally grateful for the position I'm in, and I'm so lucky to be in the position that I'm in. And I like to help people, and I want to help people at all stages of their painting, you know. So my channel isn't just about painting. So whether just the spray inside is probably more popular, we'll get more views, but I'm not the type of person that's gonna try and trick people into watching my videos. I want my videos to be full of useful content, and I want people to see what it's like. You know, it's a bit different for me, because I don't just spray. I do try and do all, you know, all the aspects of repairing and painting cars, and I'm a petrol head as well, so I want it to be about cars. And you know, people can take the bits that they need from my content, but I want my content to be full of variety, not just spraying in the booth. I want to show repairs, all the aspects to it, because you know, at the end of the day, spraying is the final part of the job. It's not the easy part of the job or anything like that. But you could have 50 hours worth of work leading up to that 2 hours of spraying. So if you're learning, whatever stage you are at learning, you're wanting to paint your car because there's problems with not just the paint work, but with the panels, etc. So you need to, you know, I think it's vital that you can find and learn all the aspects, the prepping, the polishing, all of it. So yeah, that's what my channel is about. It's about me and Reese and our day-to-day jobs and all of the things that go with spraying a car. So I haven't got the balls to start asking people for money and paying for memberships and all that. That's just not me. But what I would like to ask is just for people to help me promote it, if possible, by sharing it with people. If you think you've got value from it and you enjoy the content, I'd like people to try and help me promote it. I'm not on any other platforms. I don't really do social media. I don't do FaceAche or any of that stuff, and I haven't got the time to do it, to be doing videos on multiple platforms. And I know that it will help boost it, but this is taking all my time. I like to try and edit the videos right, and I want to try and give as much information on my videos as I can. And like I say, about all aspects of it. And I want to try and diverse from not just painting and repairing and painting the cars that come in for work. I want to try and do some maybe salvage. And my big plan with it, with the facilities that I've got, is I want to be able to not just have to rely on customers for work. I want to try and create my own work. So it'd be stuff for petrol heads, there'd be stuff for panel beaters, stuff for painters, and all try and broaden it as much as I can. So yeah, that's, if you like my content and you get value out of it, I want to try and push this to the next level now. That's what I'm trying to say, really, because I don't want to walk away from it, because I've had great support from people like the Trigger Man, other painting channels, other paint channels, in this community. He's helped me out no end, and I just want to say a massive thanks to the Trigger Man for his support. He helps me. We don't just talk about obviously the videos and that. We talk about life and mental health. These are all challenges that a lot of us face, and it can be difficult. It can be difficult times at the moment. So yeah, he's like a mentor, the Trigger Man, to me, because I haven't been feeling it lately. It is hard work running a business. Painting the cars and all that side of it I love, but I'll be honest with you, the business side of it is stressful. And but this is my 19th year now on my own, so I should be used to it. But yeah, things are a little bit tight out there and a little bit tough, and it's always a game of it's a juggling act, really. Juggling the money, the jobs, and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's all I'm asking, really, is to help me to try and promote my channel a bit more. I just want to try and get the numbers up to a better level, and it makes it a bit more worthwhile, and it helps support the channel and support the business as well, because at the moment with what I've earned from it, I don't know the exact figure, what I've earned from YouTube so far, it's probably just about covered my expenses of stuff that I've bought, you know, with GoPro accessories, Final Cut Pro and all that. But it's an investment. I enjoy it. I do have spare time on my hands because I don't drink anymore, so it's a good distraction from doing maybe things like that. But anyway, yeah, again, thanks again, really appreciate everyone watching, and yeah, we'll see you again in the next one. Look after yourselves. Cheers.